So I finally got the Dell XPS 15 2020 in the studio, and this is an actual retail unit bought directly from the Dell website. So if you're ordering one for yourself, this unboxing experience will mimic the one that you get in the mail. Now I've been excited about this because the new Dell XPS 15 is a complete redesign, and a lot of the new features and design form factors are things we've been asking for in years. Opens up super easy. A lot different from the previous one where you had to like pull up the top of the lid. This one just kind of pops open. Here's the laptop. You have the cables. This is a 165 watt charger. Very small, super light, not gonna weigh your bag down. You get some manuals in the box. And you also get an adapter that connects to one of the USB Type-C ports that gives you 2 extra ports, HDMI and USB 3.0. Now to give you guys some context, this is a MacBook Pro 16, and it's supposed to be about the same size as the upcoming XPS 17. This is what the XPS 15 looks like on top of it. Slightly smaller, less width, and of course height. And if you're curious how much smaller the Dell XPS 13 is, this should give you guys a fantastic idea. Now the port situation has been changed compared to the previous year. No longer do you get the variety of USB 3.0 or HDMI, which they kind of still include with the adapter, but instead you have a full-size SD card slot, audio jack, USB Type-C. This one right here is not Thunderbolt 3. It's used for power delivery. On the other side, you have your Kensington lock and then 2 more USB Type-C ports, which are Thunderbolt 3. Oh my God, huge difference in touchpad size. Thank you, Dell. This is awesome. I've been waiting for a Windows laptop to have such a massive trackpad. I want to show you the difference compared to the MacBook Pro, because it too has a comically huge trackpad. They're almost, well, they're not almost the same size. The Mac is still bigger, but I don't think you need to go this big. Like, this is big enough. Like, look how much space your fingers have to move around. Everything is proportional. You have brand new speakers that are on top of the deck instead of being housed in the bottom. This is gonna help immensely with sound performance. The keyboard, so much better compared to the previous model. It has the same tactile feel that the Dell XPS 13 has. It just feels so good to type on. Carbon fiber deck has such a nice feel on the wrists. Some of you may or may not like it because yes, technically it can pick up dirt and oil and residue, but I think it's worth the trade-off because if you're typing on this for a long time, it's gonna feel a lot nicer than typing on cold metal. So I got it set up, and the first thing I noticed is the touchpad. The spacing is fantastic, it feels accurate, but there's one problem. It is super wobbly. It almost feels clunky. Like little things, just simply moving your finger around the touchpad very lightly produces a clicking sound that shouldn't be there. Here's an example of what I mean. So I'm just moving my finger around the display, I'm not pressing down, and you can still hear the touchpad clicking. It's not registering any input, but I'm not sure if this is working as intended or if my specific unit has an issue with the tightening of the touchpad. The display, 16:10, brand new aspect ratio, very similar to the MacBook Pro 16. The big difference this year is you get these super thin infinity edge bezels, which just makes the laptop look ever so amazing. You have the little webcam embedded into the top, which will give you Windows Hello to log in. And of course, the power button over here also acts as a fingerprint scanner. Now this is the full HD model, which is 1920 by 1200 and it's 60 Hertz, but you have the option of buying it in 4K. So the model I ordered comes with an i7 10th gen processor, the one with 8 cores. I paired this with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a GTX 1650 Ti Max-Q. It's not a major upgrade, the GPU compared to last year, but still noticeable in most applications that you run. I did a quick Cinebench to gauge how fast this laptop's gonna perform, and it did pretty good. It didn't beat out the MacBook Pro 16 with the i9 processor, but it definitely did better than the Razer Blade 15 Advanced. Now, this is not a full performance test. Obviously, I'm gonna put it through its paces, but it gives me a general idea of how this laptop's gonna perform. Thankfully, they're keeping a lot of the components inside of the laptop upgradable. You can still upgrade the RAM up to 64 gigabytes. You have 2 slots for drives, so one is populated right now, but I have the option to place a second one right here. Wi-Fi card is soldered onto the motherboard, so is the CPU and GPU. It doesn't look like they have much of a different cooling solution compared to last year, and you don't get the vapor chamber that comes with the XPS 17. I love the fact that you still get a really big battery. This is 86 watt hours, so I'm quite curious to what kind of battery life you're gonna get with this. Honestly, unboxing this has me super excited for the Dell XPS 17 because that's the laptop that truly resonates with me. But overall, this is a fantastic update based on my first impressions. I like the design, I love the form factor, the 16:10 aspect ratio, the SD card slot, the amazing speakers. Pretty much everything we've wanted in an Ultrabook or performance Ultrabook has made its way into the Dell XPS 15. The only thing that has me kind of concerned is the touchpad. Is it meant to be that clunky or wobbly? Because if it is, that's an annoying thing to deal with on a daily basis. So I'm hoping it's just based on my unit. Anyways, let me know what questions that you guys want me to answer in my full review. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.